So follow-ups. So you have the initial engagement, not initial engagement. Say you do, you found your ICP. So for me, it's head of software, embedded software, V&V, etc. Yeah, I normally, write a nice little personal introduction email. I am in a niche business, don't get me wrong. Software verification for aircrafts is very niche. But yeah, how many times, then I'll call follow up and I don't have no set limit on calls. So I have zero limits on it's up to me how many, I don't have a number. How many times would you follow up email after that? So you do your first, email, you do your second call, or your first call. How many times after? What's too much? What's too little? What's the right? It's a tricky one, right? It's that's the biggest thing I've got at the moment, which is like how much is too much? How much is tricky.
Fair question. So just to summarize this, when you're building a sequence of cadence, how many touches and how often should we be reaching out to this person? Is that right, George? Okay, cool. I'm going to just give you my two short cents and then we'll come to Kirsten and then we'll come to John. So in terms of like building sequences and steps, it all depends on the product you're selling, the job
Mm,
titles and what's within your ICP. So there isn't one blanket
yeah.
cadence or
Yeah.
sequence that works for all. But in terms of data, on average, it takes around 16 touches. So that could be calls, emails, LinkedIn, voice notes, or video notes to book a meeting with a B2B prospect. And that's on average over 28, 35 days. The
Okay.
majority of outbound, this is cold outbound, right? So people that
Yeah.
don't know you exist. Most are booked on the eighth touch, but the reason I say this to reps is not to dishearten them or say, it's really difficult, but most give up after the third or fifth, or they run it for a week, they don't hear anything, and they give up. The key reminder here is your prospects have a job, they have deadlines, they have a day to day. So when you're reaching out to them, you're this very small dot in their inbox. But
Yeah.
the idea with outbound and sequencing is to build familiarity with your name, reaching out to them on different channels. So it could all depend. But I would say, you may have like three email or maybe up to five emails. You may have three cold calls. You may have two LinkedIn touches. One is a connection request and one is the actual follow up DM. And
Okay.
it may end up with a breakup email. Some people find breakup emails cringe, but I find high engagement when I do use them personally. But
You
that's,
normally get back to me on that, to be fair.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
But I'm going to leave it as a pause there with my tips.